All right. Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit. Or Babs Bunny.
Oh, it's Jessica Rabbit.
And not this new recreation of Babs Bunny. Original Space Jams Babs Bunny.
Jessica Rabbit.
All day. My guy.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. Welcome back to the Next Man of Sports podcast. I am one half of the dynamic duo that is Bobby G and Shaka.
How y'all doing?
All right, before we get into it today, a couple shout-outs. A lot of good things happening this week. I'm going to start with congratulations to Becky Hammon. For those of you who don't know, she was the first female assistant coach in the NBA. Mm-hmm. She's with the San Antonio Spurs. And this Tuesday, she had her jersey retired by the Las Vegas Aces. Even though she never played in Vegas, that team relocated from San Antonio to Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And they still did the honor of retiring the jersey for the production she had with the franchise when it was in San Antonio. So shout out to Becky Hammon. Good job on that.
Big shout out.
You got anybody?
Absolutely. I wanted to shout out the U.S. women's soccer team, national team.
Nice.
They had an exhibition match or international friendly today against Paraguay, and they absolutely blew them out. It was 9-0. Nice. But one of the big things I loved about it was I'm a big fan of soccer, as you know. Right. And I'm a huge fan of the women's soccer team.
I think anybody in America who is a fan of soccer is a fan of the women.
Yeah,
they actually win.
They're amazing, and they're always amazing. And I love the stances that they take, and I love the courage that they have on and off the field. But seeing them tonight, knowing that Carly Lloyd, one of the talisman, one of the figureheads for one of the greatest female soccer players of all time, announced that she was going to be retiring at the end of the season, which is, for them, I think it's around November is when I think her last game is going to be. And she went out tonight and had 5 goals for the first time in her career. Like, you want to talk about a goodbye
tour? She needs to announce her retirement every.
You want to talk about a goodbye tour? She was going off. I love seeing that from our women's national team. They're amazing. They're an inspiration. So I wanted to give a shout out to them. That's mine.
All right. Since you did mention that brings up an interesting thought in my head because lately one of the hot topics aside from social justice and everything going on the field has been equal pay for female athletes. Mm-hmm. And right there, I think should be the first start. The U.S. women's national team dominates.
Oh yeah,
female soccer and it's worldwide. Mm. Like, what do they have? 4 World Cups,
World Cup championships, numerous gold medals. We had a little bit of a slip up this year at the Olympics, but even at that, it's like still got a bronze medal. Yeah. They're absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, let's start right there. They're just phenomenal. They have been since the 90s.
Yeah, let's start right there. Let's just flip it. Let's give the U.S. women's national team the salary that the men's national team makes until they catch up.
Yeah, they definitely need to flip that. They need to flip that shit immediately.
Yeah, they put work in.
Dude, I'm so tired of the men's national. And we have stars on that, quote unquote stars, like dudes that go and do work overseas. And then our national team is like never really a conversation. Whereas again, on the flip side, the women's team, it's like they are constantly, always the benchmark. Like y'all gotta come get this from us. Right. And why they're not paid more, I've always felt was like a problem.
Man, I know the sport isn't it's basically at its beginnings. Almost close to not really infancy, but
what do you mean soccer?
Women's soccer. On a global scale.
Yeah.
It's what are they, like 20 years?
I put it as far as it being internationally competitive.
Yeah, because they only had about 10 World Cups.
About 40 years, yeah. So you're looking like the late 80s, roughly. It was around the time that it became like globally competitive for women's soccer. Right. It wasn't that it wasn't played, but like, to your point of it being like recognized and being, and obviously we have like the amazing mid-90s team with Mia Hamm and God, I'm forgetting her other name that she won the shootout. I'm gonna hate myself for that. Please, I'll put it up somewhere. I'll put it up on my IG. What her name is, and I'm just having a brain fart. But yeah, no, they've been good. They've been good for a really, really, really long time, and have been excelling. And again, I'm a huge soccer fan, and I cannot tell you from just even the eye test they're so good to watch. Like, if you want to watch soccer how it's supposed to be played, like, I'd put them like right at. I'd probably put like Brazil, Spain, U.S. women's national team, and I mean like the Brazil men, the Spain men, like, you know, the top men teams in the world, and then it's like I would genuinely be willing to place money that our women's national team will beat our men's national team.
I'll take that bet. But and then just so people know, like I'm an absolute novice as far as soccer knowledge. I wholeheartedly admit that.
But he'll take the bet. That's what I want. I want him to take that bet.
To submit any soccer question to you, but for the people who may be watching who are just like me, just to put it in layman's terms, imagine an expansion NFL team coming in and winning 3 straight Super Bowls. That's the equivalent of what the U.S. women's national soccer team is.
They're amazing. So, again, big shout outs to them. Big shout outs to Becky Hammond. Also, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know the Bucs just made an important hire. They just made the first female full-time TV announcer.
Hey, there you go.
So big shout out to them. These are big things happening. Change is a good thing. Progress is an amazing thing. And I'm happy to see these things. They're a long time coming. But let's get into the NFL. Let's get into men that just want to beat the hell out of each other.
All right, before we get into recapping tonight's Thursday night action between the Washington football team and the New York Giants, we want to do something for you guys out there in fantasy land. We're going to give you 3 names each of 3 guys to look out for this weekend that you might want to start on your fantasy rosters. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a pick.
You go first.
I'll take it.
You go first. Because I might steal a couple of yours.
Dang. Now, for first name I'll drop is a little bit of a hometown selection, but not really. Really not really. I'm going to say start Nick Chubb. The Browns are playing the Houston Texans this week. If anybody remembers last season when we played the Houston Texans, that's when he broke off the 50-yard run at the end of the game and stepped out of bounds so that we can take the knee to win the game. Nick Chubb literally averaged like 8 yards carry, I think, in his career against the Houston Texans. So if you have Nick Chubb on your roster, get him in there this weekend.
Okay.
Second, I would take, and this is going to be, bounce back, Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
Yeah. Against the Detroit Lions Monday Night Football.
I thought about that. Yeah. I really did. I took a long time looking at that.
He absolutely, for his career,
I still don't think he gives a shit.
He murders the Detroit Lions. He averages like 3 touchdowns a game against the Detroit Lions. So, and especially the way they got it handed to him last week, look for a big bounce back. So go ahead and start Aaron Rodgers.
I'd be surprised if he had even 30 pass attempts. I would be shocked. I'd be shocked.
He could have 4 pass attempts. I guarantee you this week, 3 of those 4 are going to be touchdowns.
All right. Number 3.
Number 3, I'm going to tell you to start the Rams defense.
Okay.
Look at defense
Rams
underappreciated.
Up against the Colts.
Start the Rams defense.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. Aaron, even though they didn't look like they showed some holes, obviously giving up a lot of rushing yards to Montgomery last week, but the Colts, I don't think they recover from what Seattle did to them. If Seattle can contain them like that, the Rams can do definitely a better job. So I definitely start the Rams defense.
Okay. Well, my number 1, and I feel like this is for people that wanted to have comments to me about how much I talk about the Broncos and feeling like this is sounding like a Broncos show. I feel like they haven't been listening because I feel like I'm talking about the Browns too much. But that would be my number 1 pick. If you have the Browns defense, I'll take the Browns defense for the same reason. They're playing the Houston Texans. Yeah. They're playing the Houston Texans with Tyrod Taylor and only his second start in a couple of years. Like, yeah, he had a great unexpected game in week 1. But you have the Browns coming in. Yeah, you have the Browns coming in. That's obviously a light years difference.
Yeah. And it's the home
defense. Yeah, so I feel like the Browns are going to eat. Yeah. So I'd start the Browns defense if you have them. If you don't, you could probably pick them up. I think that they're going to have a great week. My number two and my number 3 are both either ors because I valued if you have either one of these guys, I think they'll give you about the same amount of fantasy points. Right. So I have starting either George Kittle at tight end. You can either slot him in a tight end, slot him in a flex. I think that, again, with the matchup that they have this week, he's going to have a really good opportunity to eat. Because, again, they're going up against, give me one quick second. They're going up against the Eagles. I think that, and then the Eagles had an injury to one of their linebackers that would be a primary cover option for George Kittle, so he'll be good.
Linebackers could cover him anyway.
Right. And then in the same game, again, on the either or, is that if you have Devontae Smith, I'd also pick him. Because, again, the Niners, I'm not trusting that their DBs, especially watching what they gave up late game to the Lions after beating. I know.
No. Let me say again, a guy we talked about for the 49ers, one of my favorite players, Jason Verrett.
Yeah, he's out for the season again. So that's what I was gonna say is like, and that was gonna be the part. You stole my shit. That's what I was gonna say. But again, people, that's why I love this man, and that's why we're doing this, is because we think alike. And we don't think like we do enough research. We on top of our shit. But I was gonna say that Jason Verrett
too, man,
was gonna be the primary cover option for Devontae Smith with him out. And Devontae Smith had a great opening game. He had 6 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. So I see him, going even further, getting over 100 yards.
Wow.
Look at him to getting probably 7 or 8 catches. Because, again, he's going to be going up against number 2 options, and Devontae Smith has shown, whether he was at Alabama or even in his first week, that he's ready and willing to be a number 1 option.
Okay.
My third and final one is going to be a quarterback pick. And the first part of this is going to be obvious. So obvious.
Teddy Bridgewater.
If you have Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes on your fantasy roster, obviously start them this week. If you have Tom Brady, please start him this week because they're going up against the Atlanta Falcons. I had comments on that. Start him if you have him. Patrick Mahomes, the same thing. Start him if you got him. If you don't have either one of those guys, my toss-up picks would be, number 1 would be Matthew Stafford. Again, he showed a lot of good promise, I liked his composure. Like, that was the biggest thing, was I liked how calm and collected he looked. He looked comfortable as hell last week. Going up against the Colts defense that doesn't have the best of secondaries, I think that he'll be even more comfortable. He's going to be more confident in that offense. The defense is going to put him on the field a lot because they're going to be shutting down the Colts. I think that Matthew Stafford will eat.
Okay.
My other pick, I know what you're going to say, don't care, is Teddy Bridge. It's an either or at quarterback, and that I know for a lot of people, I doubt anybody drafted him. So you can pick him up off the market, off of free agency for cheap, off the wager line for cheap. Like, you can go and pick him up. Why I'm saying Teddy Bridge is, look at his numbers from last week. He only missed 8 passes. He was 20.
That was the Giants.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He was 26 for 34, 269 yards, and 2 touchdowns against the Giants. He's coming in this week going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So this isn't a home pick. This is like, if he ate like that on the Giants, which actually have what you could argue is a defense, the Jacksonville Jaguars, come on. I'm saying that. I'm not saying I
let you slide with that.
I highly doubt anybody drafted Teddy Bridge.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if you need a quarterback, or if you're not confident in yours, he could be a sleeper one. Matthew Stafford, because I know Matthew Stafford was drafted. Teddy Bridge, again, you can pick him up off the waiver wire, and it might be a surprise pick for some people because, again, he surprised people out of week 1, and he's going up against an even worse defense in week 2.
I can let that slide. I'll let you slide with that one. All right, let's get into the good stuff, though. Thursday night football action. Washington football team.
God fucking damn it.
Hosting the New York Football Giants, and it was a good game. It was a good game. We both thought that the Giants would sneak victory, but
we both started off with an L in week 2.
The football team came in through the back door and said, "Hold up, wait a minute."
What
did you think of the last call?
You had Lawrence jump offside,
right,
and give a dude an extra kick, which he still almost fucking smoked,
which completely took away from one. Bradbury had gotten like several penalties throughout the game.
Mm-hmm. That was a phenomenal pick,
and that's what I'm saying. He completely redeemed himself for all those penalties throughout the game, and like it's so. I mean, Terry McLaurin is a fantastic young receiver.
Yeah.
He was giving that dude the business.
Oh, yeah.
And he finally got him. Makes the play that gives him the lead. And then to have the game go like end like it did, I don't know how I feel if I was him.
I don't know how I'd feel if I was the whole like Giants organization. Like, cause I feel like for a team that's still rebuilding, that's still young, that's still getting pieces back in, these are the type of games that can break your season.
Absolutely.
It's one thing to lose like the Giants, like they did to us, you know, where it's 27-7 until literally the last 3 seconds. Like the game's been over.
Right.
Like regardless of where anybody wants to put the Broncos, it's like you're just not in that level yet. You can just accept that. Like we have work to do. We know that. But then you're not only playing a game where you're in it, you feel like you're in it the whole time. There's numerous lead changes, but it's also against a division rival. And yeah, you lose realistically on 2 plays.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard I keep blaming him. I'm sorry.
Darius Slayton.
Darius Slayton dropping that touchdown. Which again, as we were talking about, you can argue
you call it either way.
It could have been an overthrow. He could have extended more, but either way, that's 7 points not on the board.
Right.
What was then scored a game? 30-29. What was it at that time? They had 23.
Yeah, that would have been a 10-point lead with 2 minutes left.
10-point lead, 2 minutes left. Game over. Yeah. And instead, it's like, no, it doesn't happen that way. And then you got the dude jumping offside, and it's just like, it's just a comedy of errors.
Yeah. But to me, when they showed the replay and they slowed it down, he moves at the exact same time the ball moves.
So you don't think it was offside?
Sure, no. I think calls like that should be reviewable by the booth. And if you're gonna review touchdowns, review all scoring plays. Just where when they zoomed in, of course from a distance, when they show the down the line camera angle, it looks like he jumps off sides. But when they zoomed in and you basically can see the ball and him, when that lineman slides his hands, that's when he starts, and it's like they could overturn that.
But then that's where it comes down to me for like the IQ question. Like, as a starting D tackle, like you have to know how many times in the history of the NFL has a person from your position blocked a field goal attempt? Rare. Because it's usually the guy who's flying in, or it's like the linebacker jumping over. Like, yes, I understand.
Or there's sometimes they get that paw up there.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it's. I get that it's the end of the game. I get that it's a potentially game winning, but why even take that chance? Why try to get that little half a second? I know that it's a game.
That's that muscle memory. Like that's what you do all game.
I just think I hate whenever I see those penalties, regardless of what the circle. Like, it's such a bonehead thing to do.
Right.
Like that split second that you're trying to get that jump is not going to be the difference if you're a good enough player, in my opinion. Like, but what is the difference? Instead of it being game over, we win. It's game over, we lose.
Right.
And even at that, and even again, the risk reward shit. Did he get a paw up on it? Is that why dude missed it? Was that he got offsides and got through and got a paw on it and blocked the field goal, and it was like, oh, on review or whatever, no review, it was offside. No, he would have missed it fucking anyway. You literally had no fucking effect on the play, and instead you cost your team the game.
Right, but to that point,
because it's saying like it's a field goal that just ties the game.
Yeah,
to where it's like, oh shit, well damn, we went to overtime and then lost, like the Raiders thing we was talking about on Monday Night Football. It's like, it's not that. It's literally, this is make or break. If he makes it, we lose by 1. If he misses, we win by 2. There's no margin for error, and you found it. Right.
to that point, to me, it was just a culmination of Giants' mistakes. Mm-hmm. Like the just mental mistakes. You have that. You have drop, pass, drop, overthrow, whichever one you want to call it. And then you have the holding penalty that also pulled a touchdown off the board. Remember, Daniel Jones broke a 50-yard run. Mm-hmm. That I know you give him a lot of crap for getting tripped up by the turf monster.
He stayed up. This one
he finishes it off, and what happens? You get a holding.
He even made a couple cuts.
Yeah.
Maybe that was his problem. He can't run straight fucking lines. He's like that dude that would ace a drunk driving test so long as you don't ask him to walk a straight line.
Right.
He can say the alphabet backwards. He know all the complicated crap. But yeah, him just run here to here. He's Shaq fault.
But I'm saying, with that, you put that on board. What's the score of the game? Now it's 27-20.
Right.
So it's like they always say there's 3 or 4 plays in the game that kind of determine the outcome. I felt that the Giants made or missed all 3 or 4 of those plays. Mm-hmm. And how you feeling about the Washington football team now? Because they came out, they had a decent performance against the Chargers. Obviously, they lost their quarterback. Mm-hmm. The defense did hold up. Tonight, the defense kind of, it's like they let off the gas. The Giants were like moving the ball kind of at will.
The defense, I felt, they didn't impress me, but they didn't disappoint me either.
Okay.
I felt like it was a good offensive game plan from the Giants. Yeah. I felt like they used their weapons.
Yeah.
I still don't think they're using Saquon Barkley appropriately, but I also do understand that he's only his second game back after an ACL tear, so I know there's a lot of give and take with that.
He's definitely not 100%.
Yeah.
The thing that showed me that is I think they ran one read option play. He was able to get to the outside, and you see Chase Young running stride for stride with him down the sideline. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he's not, because he smokes Chase Young in the open field.
Yeah, so I want to credit the Giants' offensive game plan. I feel like the Redskins... damn it, that's twice. Please forgive me, people. I feel like the Washington football team, because it's just such a mouthful.
You just say Washington.
I feel like Washington. Yeah. I'll just say Washington, yeah. I feel like Washington, their defense did... I wasn't necessarily disappointed with their defense.
Okay.
And again, that's just watching how, the game plans. I didn't feel like Washington called a bad game. I just feel like the Giants offense called a better one.
Okay. That's fair.
It's just the penalties, man. It's just the bonehead decisions. It's just like the bad play calling, as you said, like them not getting, them just not getting what's the term in basketball, like the loose ball.
The 50-50.
Yeah, the 50-50 balls. Like, they're just not getting those. And my opinion on Washington hasn't changed. I still feel like they're going to have a good defense, but as I said before, both of those teams, all of the teams in that division are terrible. And I really just, it doesn't, the only exciting games I feel like you're going to see between any team in the NFC East is when they're playing each other, because they all suck. So it's just going to be what team sucks less.
The Cowboys Tampa game, that was
Anyway.
All right. Is there anybody in the game on either side, Giants or Washington, that kind of caught your eye that you weren't looking for, weren't expecting?
No, because again, I know it sounds like a lot of haterism, but it's just like I don't hate. I hate all you motherfuckers. Now, as I sip my soda, I'm sure somebody spit in. For those that don't know, you don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to try to explain it to you. No, it's just I don't think that there's nobody on there. I want to keep watching Saquon. I want to see how he progresses. Because he's one of those players like I root for personally,
right? Because
I can see his potential, I can see his greatness, and I want to see that happen.
Right.
I don't care what team he's on. I just want to see him be great because he has all the tools for it. So I want to watch him just from that perspective. Okay. But anybody else, Heineke was impressive.
Okay.
He looked very confident, very poised. For a guy only making his second NFL start or second NFL game, like that was
the regular season.
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal. So, I mean, I guess if we're pulling the straws, it would be those two things for me. What about you?
For me, he was a guy on Washington's defense. Saint Juice. He was corner / safety, number 25. He made a couple plays. He's a rookie out of Minnesota. So he spent some time in the same secondary as Antoine Winfield Jr. But yeah, that kid looks like he's got some talent. He can cover wide, he can cover the slot, he can play safety. So he's gives me some Honey Badger vibes.
Honey Badger?
Yeah, they might have a little gem on their hands.
Oh, okay.
So if they can get somebody as strong in the secondary as they have on the defensive line.
Because Tyrann Mathieu is a favorite of both of ours. So that's a huge comparison.
Yeah, he's
Honey Badger don't give a shit.
Yeah, like I say, he's probably better in coverage. Okay. On the outside at least. I don't think he covers tight ends or backside of the backfield, but as far as covering receivers, he's definitely got an edge on Matthew there. But just his versatility and what they can do if he continues to develop appropriately. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that guy.
So moving into these week 2 predictions. Since we both starting off already 0 for 1, thanks to an offsides penalty. Regardless of whether it was or wasn't, it was called.
Yeah.
And god damn it, now we're starting off 0-1. It's bullshit. But since we both on the losing side, I'm gonna take a dig at you. I mean, you know how that is. I mean, you're a Browns fan. They start every season off 0-1. It's appropriate. We start off a week 0-1.
Well, every season after 1. There was the time we were 0-1.
Touche. So speaking of a team in your division, a game I think is going to be. It's not. I don't think it's going to be a good game, but let's get into it. Cincinnati, Chicago. Cincinnati versus Chicago. Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Bengals in this one.
Okay.
That's why I like what the Bengals showed last weekend. They're gonna be facing probably a little bit stiffer defense, but if Chicago's offense comes out like they did last week against the Bengals, that's not gonna be a good thing for them. I think Cincinnati's run defense may be a little bit tougher than the Rams. If not, I mean, not overall, but because now they know they got that tape, so they're definitely gonna focus on shutting down the inside run. And aside from that, Bears really didn't show anything. The Bengals, I think Jamar Chase comes out and has another solid game. I think they get Mixon going. I think Burrow continues to be a game manager. And I see him coming out with a close win. I'm going to say 2017.
Do you think it'll be a close game?
Yeah.
Well, we're halfway there on our predictions. I mean, we were both wrong about the Giants, so I don't know how many of these picks I want to agree with you on. Because I mean, I finished last week ahead of you, so I don't want to. If we get halfway through this list, people, I might cut, and I need to go back through my notes and change them up. But I do also have the Bengals winning, but I have it more lopsided. I have it 31-17.
Wow.
I was not. You talked about wanting to fire Nagy last week. I was not at all liking what the Chicago Bears were putting on.
Justin Cook.
Yeah, I don't know what they were putting on the field. They'll get away with more shit against the Bengals defense because it's not the LA Rams. Yeah. So I think that their little 2 quarterback concept, whatever crap that they're trying to do, might work. But to your point, on the other side of the ball, you got Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase. Yeah. And I'll take that tandem over whatever the hell Chicago's putting up.
Right.
So I have Cincinnati winning. I have them surprisingly starting the season off 2-0, which would cause a whole bunch of intrigue in what's already going to be a competitive AFC North.
No intrigue because they'll fall back to
if Cincinnati starts off 2-0. We'll see because it's momentum. After that, staying in the AFC North, we have your Cleveland Browns at home opener for the Dog Pound against the Houston Texans.
Dub.
Let's just cut to the next one. It's over with. Call it a day. Move on. I got it the same way. I got it. Do you have it close?
No, we're just a better football team than Houston Texans. Tyrod will probably be a little bit juiced up because he'll be going against Baker Mayfield. Obviously, he was the starting quarterback the year we drafted Baker Mayfield. Then Baker took over when he got hurt. So, there'll be that. But right now, we're just a better football team coming off in a slightly emotional game. They're not going to fall victim to the trap game. Like you said, it's home opener. Yeah, it's going to be a runaway. I'm going to say 38-10. 38-10, 38-17 at worst.
We're very close. I have it the same thing. I have it 31-10 Cleveland. I feel like if it's anything less than that, I will not say another positive comment about Cleveland for the rest of the season. Like, not in another episode. Unless y'all, like, literally go 15-2. If y'all don't win by at least 20 points, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'll still have y'all highly regarded. If you lose this game, I am never mentioning your team again. So
I'll put a guarantee on this week.
We're in agreement. This should be For the caliber of team that the Browns are supposed to be, this should be a goddamn blowout. You have it 38-10. I have it 31-10. So I'm only putting it at 31 because I feel like they'll take Baker Mayfield out halfway through the third quarter. It'll be like 31-0, and they'll just be like, "Yeah, we don't need you no more." Moving on, we obviously were talking about the LA Rams versus Indianapolis Colts briefly. It's LA in Indianapolis. What do you think? Who you got?
I gotta go with the Rams. Rams moved to 2-0. I think the defense is a little bit too. If the Colts kind of struggle with Seattle, then they're in for a real problem against the Rams. Aaron Donald, I don't think he's gonna get pushed around 2 weeks in a row. Matt Stafford, like you said earlier, looked real comfortable in that offense. I think he just gets more comfortable, even though Indy does have a solid defense. I will give them that. They have a decent defense. But the way Matthew Stafford looked, I think it's just going to be a little bit too much. I take him over Carson Wentz. I take him facing Indy's defense over Carson Wentz facing the Rams defense. Probably 28-13.
Okay. See, again, I'm starting to get nervous because I feel like we have too many picks already that are on the same line. Because I got the Rams beating the Colts as well. I have it 28-10.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be a close game at all. I don't think that the Colts can keep up offensively with what the Rams are going to be able to put onto the field. And again, you have the Rams with that defense.
Yeah.
That anything the Colts are trying to do is going to be stymied like a lot. I don't think it's going to be a contest. Yeah. I think that the Rams should run away with this game.
So I think it'll be a good game though. I don't think it will look like a blowout. It'll look like just the Rams are just a better football team.
Okay. So getting into some of these into the meat of the day.
Okay.
I wouldn't say the meat, but just some of the games that I personally feel will be a bit closer. The first one's obviously some blowouts. We're looking at Buffalo versus Miami. Going to Miami.
Interesting game. Very interesting because Buffalo slipped up last week and let one get away.
Yeah, big one.
And Miami won. So this is a bigger game. It's a bigger game for Buffalo because you fall down 2 games out of the division, really 3 games because you would be giving Miami basically a heads up.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Buffalo going on the road and taking one. I don't think they slip up 2 weeks in a row. If you're one of the upper echelon teams, like I believe Buffalo is, you can have a slip up. The truly good teams that are contending for championships, they don't have those slip ups 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give Buffalo the benefit of the doubt. Say they go down to Miami and get one in a close game though, because again, Brian Flores, I believe in his defense. I believe in his defensive game plans. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Buffalo steals it, 21-17.
All right. So for those that like tuned in, I think it was the last episode. This motherfucker's stealing my notes. Like, I think that he's like hacked my phone or my laptop or something. Because I feel like, how are all your picks the same as mine? I also have Buffalo in a close game. It's not 21-17, but I have it 24-20. Same 4-point differential, same basic score line.
Technically, you can see my screen. I can't see yours.
I'm not looking. Get the fuck out of here. But you speaking on yours first, to where it's like, come on. Anyway, shut up. Like,
got him.
Fuck off. I got the same thing. I don't think Buffalo slips up 2 weeks in a row. I think it was a bad loss week 1.
Yeah, very.
Having to go into a division rival in Miami on the road week 2.
Yeah, it's pretty much a must win.
Yeah, it's and to that point, like, it's way too early to have a must-win game. And you already have one as a Buffalo Bills. Like, this is absolutely a must-win game. They cannot lose it. I'm not sold on what I saw last week. Otherwise, I'd have it more lopsided. I think it will be a close game. As I said, 24-20. Same 4-point spread. I think it'll come down to that. It won't be a field goal game. It'll be a little more than that. Staying in all the way in the AFC East, since apparently we have a couple of in-division matchups this week. We got the New England Patriots on the road to the New York Jets. 2 garbage teams. Which garbage team do you think is going to not suck?
The team that's going to win the game is the New England Patriots.
So they're gonna suck less than the Jets.
Nah, they're going to smoke the Jets.
Both of these teams suck. I'll keep saying that all season.
I mean, you'll say it. You won't be saying it when the Patriots make the
I
playoffs.
wanted to call this game. I wanted to call this game a draw because of how garbage they both are.
But yeah, I'm in the battle of the two rookie QBs. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Mac Jones. Mac Jones gets his first victory. I think Patriots go ahead and take this one 28-13.
Damn, you think it's gonna be a run out?
Everybody knows what Bill Belichick does to rookie quarterbacks. Like, and he basically has a division full of rookie quarterbacks. Minus Josh Allen. Doesn't matter what Bill Belichick can face a rookie quarterback in a phone booth, and you're just not gonna have success.
We'll see. I liked how this is why I'm happy because now we're having a difference. I liked how I hated, as was noted in the last episode, I hated how Zach Wilson started the game. It was atrocious. It was abysmal. It was horrendous.
I'll never forget your reaction. Is Zach Wilson hurt?
That was priceless. I refreshed my phone like 5 times. I'm like, there's no way it's the fucking third quarter. This dude only has 6 passes. I'm like, but I'm not seeing a backup quarterback. Like, there's no second quarterback listed in their reps. And I'm like, what did y'all do? You just took him off the field? You just been running Wildcat?
Hey, playoff Panthers, man. Just imagine if he started that rough against the Panthers. Dude, Stephon Gilmore's got something for you.
Again, I think it's everyone got it rough, and that's why, again, like I liked that Jets game. They came back, they make it competitive. It was 14-19 in the loss. But again, you have to think it's a rookie first year head coach. Right. It's a first year quarterback. First year number two option at wide receiver. You have your number 1 and number 3 options are both coming from different teams. Right. Like you have a lot of moving parts that are all new.
All ingredients that you don't want to put up against. But Bill
also
Belichick.
At the same time, Bill Belichick is dealing with the same shit, and I think it's going to be a toss up. I think it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be another ugly game. I think the Buffalo Miami game is going to be ugly. And I think there's going to be another ugly one. I have the Jets squeaking it out 21-17.
Okay.
Really don't put the numbers up that high. I just think it'll be a 4-point difference.
Okay.
Yeah. It could be 7. It could be 7-3 because that'll be
our game of the week again.
Yeah, because you have confidence in the Patriots that I can't understand.
Next.
We got the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, they actually got a game this week.
Yeah.
They had a bye week last week.
Yeah, they got a challenge. So who are you picking? You think it's gonna be the Niners on the road, or
this is a tough game? This is really
Jalen Hurts gonna show that it wasn't a 1 week wonder.
I really like this matchup. I really do. The Eagles surprise, even though they just played the Falcons, and you know how I feel about the Falcons, but still to go out and do what they did, it was surprising. Jalen Hurts showed me a lot.
He was
49ers.
Impressive. He was better than I thought he'd be.
I would say the 49ers look good. Like,
told you.
I mean, but they're playing the Lions. Like, you should look good against the Lions, and all they did was do what they're supposed to do. Now they actually have a game. They got to play somebody who's going to play back
think the Eagles
from the beginning of the game.
You think the Eagles are somebody?
They're going to play from the beginning of the game.
You think the Eagles?
They're not going to start playing in the fourth quarter.
You think the Eagles are somebody?
I mean, you think the Broncos are somebody, so.
See, you see what I'm saying, people? He just got to keep coming after my team.
You come after everybody, so
I'm coming after the Eagles. And why you got to bring my Broncos into it? We won. I'm sorry, we won handily.
So did
we look good. Goddamn.
So did the team you're trying to diss.
I don't give a fuck about the Eagles,
and they did it more impressively.
The Eagles are in the NFC East, bro.
So did the team you're dissing, and they didn't play an NFC East team.
They're in the
so
NFC
yeah,
East.
Get that out of here.
They're in the NFC East, which means they're gonna be trash.
They put up more points than y'all.
They're gonna be trash. I don't care. They're gonna be trash.
And they got a better quarterback.
The New Orleans Saints put up more points than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
If Jalen
Hurts, the New Orleans Saints put up more points than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you saying that the New Orleans, by your logic,
if Jalen Hurts was the quarterback of the Denver Broncos,
New Orleans Saints,
I'd put him in the playoffs.
Are you saying that the New Orleans Saints, by your logic, since they put up more points than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs,
I'm saying if Jalen Hurts,
that they're somehow better?
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
I'm saying if Jalen Hurts was the quarterback of the Denver Broncos, I call him a playoff team, but he's not.
You're so amazingly disrespectful. That's why I said
is Jalen Hurts not better than Tony? Is Jalen Hurts not better than Teddy Bridgewater?
No, he is absolutely not. That's so amazingly disrespectful. Okay. Teddy Bridgewater's led a team to the playoffs in the NFL.
18.
I don't care. He's led, even if it's one.
A team with who on it?
It doesn't matter. The point is, Jalen Hurts.
Answer the question. A team with who on it?
Jalen Hurts is in his second season in the NFL and has literally done fuck all up until this point. He's won one game, and you're going to say to Teddy Bridgewater, and I'm not saying this defending him as a Broncos fan.
Can you answer the question?
I'm saying this, period, because Teddy Bridgewater's only played one game for the Broncos, and I'm not defending him like that. It's, dude, have you seen what he did in Carolina, what he did in New Orleans, and what he did with Minnesota? And you're going to sit here and really say that Jalen Hurts on the fucking Eagles in his second season is better than Teddy Bridgewater?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the next matchup.
Stop moving on. Can you answer that question? Teddy Bridgewater did take a team to the playoffs. Who was on that team?
Has Jalen Hurts taken a team to the NFL playoffs?
Are you incapable of answering that question?
Has Jalen Hurts taken a team to the NFL playoffs?
Are you hold on.
Because that's the comparison.
It's not the comparison. Right, because Teddy Bridgewater was drafted by a team that didn't make the playoffs. Jalen Hurts was drafted by a team that had the 6th pick in the draft because they weren't good the year before.
Has Jalen Hurts taken a team to the playoffs?
See how I answered your question?
Has Teddy Bridgewater taken a team to the NFL playoffs? Yes, he has. Has Jalen Hurts taken a team to the NFL playoffs? No, he hasn't.
Teddy Bridgewater didn't take anything. Again, who was on that team? Let's see if you could. Can you answer a question?
Let's go ahead.
Can't answer a question.
Let's go ahead and go to the next matchup.
Hold on, just to make sure people get the answer. I'll tell them. It was prime Adrian Peterson.
Let's go to the next matchup.
Going for 2,000 yards.
Let's go to the next matchup. It's the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Who you got?
Another tough one because the Raiders got handed a game. However, they still played better and they looked better in what should have been a loss than the Steelers did in what was a win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give the edge to the Raiders.
You're giving the edge to the Raiders.
I'm gonna have to go with the Raiders
on the road in Pittsburgh with all your love for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
And you're gonna give the edge to John Gruden, Derek Carr, Darren Waller, and the Las Vegas Raiders on the road in Pittsburgh, week 2.
But hold on, we gotta go back because I didn't pick a winner between the Eagles and the 49ers because you wouldn't answer my question.
Okay, pick your winner between the Eagles and 49ers. Yeah, because we need it on record. Because mine was the Niners, 24-17. Who you picking?
I'm gonna roll with the Eagles. You moved to 2-2. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
2-2. So
the Eagles 2-0.
4 games. So you got the Eagles at You got the Eagles winning over the Niners.
Yeah.
So we got to have that on record. I got the Niners
27-20.
27-20. I got the 24-17 Niners. Vegas, Pittsburgh. You have Vegas taking the win. I have the Steelers.
24-17.
I have the Steelers moving to 2-0. I think, again, I don't. For those tuning in to the Steelers fan, I know this is going to sound bad. I don't like your team. I have nothing personally against them. I just don't think that.
Yeah, you do.
I just don't think that they'll be as good as Bill, and I feel like they'll be a lot like last year where they jumped out, 11-0 and then just completely crumbled. I don't think that they'll do that this year. I don't think they'll get out to 11-0, but they just seem to be gifted schedules where it's like they can play teams like the Vegas Raiders week 2. I think that they'll start off with a better record than their team actually is. Yeah. And I think that they'll beat the Raiders at home with Mike Tomlin. I have it at 28-13. I didn't like what I saw from the Raiders, again, going up against a depleted Baltimore Ravens team. Again, another AFC North, rival or challenger, I guess.
Right.
You're going up against the Ravens, who were not the division winners last year. The Steelers were.
Right.
The Ravens lost all 3 of their starting running backs. They lost guys in the preseason on defense, and you barely beat them.
You got number 8.
I know they still have Lamar Jackson, but it's like still though, like,
and he gifted them the game
more so than anything else in any other sport. It's like, like unlike soccer, as we talked about earlier, football is like it's a 50, it's 22 people. You got 11 on 11.
The ultimate team sport.
Where it's like, yeah, cool, we got number 8, but. And I know we said that about Tom Brady, but Lamar Jackson ain't Tom Brady. He's not Drew Brees. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Joe Montana. Like, Lamar Jackson is he's like a Michael Vick 2.0.
Nah, he ain't even that. But the thing is, those other quarterbacks, they need those guys now. If they're down receivers, then they look human. Lamar Jackson makes up for the missing guys in the back, and that's what people don't think about. Yeah, they lost run, but so what? Number 8 is gonna run for 150. Like, those guys just basically they're placeholders. They're distractions for him to attempt to get the ball downfield. But just ground yards, yeah, he'll make up for those guys being missing.
But even at that, it's still me looking at it from what I saw from the Raiders.
Yeah.
You are playing a team that is depleted to where instead of him having these other options and then he can run also for 100, you can only focus on him, and you guys barely won.
He's good at that.
I don't think the Raiders will be a bad team this year. In terms of, I don't think they'll be at the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
I see them winning 5 games. Because the Raiders can always eat dog shit, in my opinion. I'm never gonna say nothing nice about them.
They can. Gotta get that hatred out of your heart.
That's a home. I'm a Broncos fan. I'm a Broncos diehard. I bleed orange and blue.
You're a sports fan.
I am a sports fan. But I'm a Broncos fan when I talk about the Raiders.
Get that hatred out your heart.
I got the Raiders losing their first game of the season on the road in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
We got New Orleans versus Carolina, your dark horse team from the NFC
Playoff
South.
Panthers.
Your playoff Panthers. Who you got? I'm assuming it's probably going to be along them same lines, or do you think that the Saints actually showed something last week?
They did. They showed something, but the playoff Panthers also showed something. I think they showed a little bit more.
Keep saying playoff Panthers.
The playoff Panthers, people, you heard it here first. The playoff Panthers moved to 2-0 in the season, and they get a much needed division victory, because these are the types of wins that they're going to need to get to make a playoff push, and I think they get it. I'm going to say they take it 23-20.
Oh, you see, you think it'll be a really close game?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
division game. I mean, look at tonight. Division games are always tricky.
Yeah.
So talent level kind of goes out of the window.
Well, I'm picking the same side as you, but it's just a wider margin of victory. I think Carolina.
You're a believer
wins.
now?
No, I'm not a believer in Carolina. I'm a disbeliever in the farce that I think is the New Orleans Saints. Cool, they won 38-3, and Jameis Winston had 5 touchdowns. Again, he had 5 touchdown passes on 148 yards. I'm a disbeliever in the Saints, more so than I'm a believer in the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
And I think that the Panthers will expose the Saints as the rebuilding team that they are. I don't think that the Panthers are going to make the playoffs, but they're a better team than the Saints.
Okay.
So I have it at 28-13. And then in the marquee matchup for me, not for anybody else, but for me, so we don't got to touch on it too much, because, again, I want to keep these real short. Because when it comes to week 8, week 9, week 10, I'm going to have a hell of a lot to say. And it's going to sound like a Broncos podcast. I'm going to have a hell of a lot to say. So, but right now, I'm going to keep these real short. You can keep dragging my team, because I'm just going to sit here patiently waiting.
Have I said anything about your team
that wasn't
true?
Yes, a shit ton.
Okay.
That Teddy Bridgewater is not better than Jalen Hurts.
He's not.
So, Denver versus Jacksonville. I have Denver winning 28-14 on the road. That's a conservative pick for me. I don't think that it'll be as close of a game. I don't know if how the scoreline will look, but this is, of all the games that we have this season, knock on wood, I think that this is the game I'm the most confident that should be just in the bag for us. And we move to 2-0 right out the gate. Okay. I think it should be a game, again, on paper, that we win going away.
I'd agree with that. I don't like Trevor Lawrence going up against that defense this early. Actually, it might be the best thing for him, because they don't have a lot of film on him. So, but it's just a bad matchup. The Broncos are a better football team than Jaguars, and Urban Meyer definitely he's got a lot to work on as far as the NFL game goes. So, he needs to work on his game plan and play calling. So I say the Broncos win it. I'm going to go 31-17.
I appreciate that. I feel like that's like an olive branch. So
it's not an olive branch. You just think I drag your team because I tell you the truth.
You're not telling me the truth.
You don't have a quarterback.
You also didn't think that we beat the Giants. So
I didn't.
So, I mean, you ain't telling me the truth, because we beat the Giants.
So
moving on. So we have Minnesota
before the game.
We have Minnesota versus Arizona.
There was no score, so nobody won.
We have Minnesota versus Arizona. He was wrong. Let's move on. It's Minnesota versus Arizona.
You only picked the Broncos because you're a Broncos fan.
I did not. I literally did not. And I went through in detail to the point where people thought it was a Broncos show why I was defending.
Because you're a Broncos fan.
No, because I'm seeing the game objectively and I'm looking at these teams on paper. I have been like the type of person who, knowing me for over a decade, how diehard I am about my team. And
that's what I just said twice.
But what I'm saying on this podcast that we've had, I have defended your fucking Browns, who is our longest fucking rival. Fuck the Raiders. I have defended your Browns. I've defended the Chiefs. I've talked positively about the Chargers and the Raiders. These are all rivals to the Broncos, and I've talked about them positively. So no, I'm saying this objectively to where if I can stomach, because I have to for this shit, saying something positive about any of those teams. On YouTube,
look at the face right now.
That I have to say anything positive about any of those teams. It disgusts me to my core, but I say it objectively. So when I'm talking about the Broncos, I'm saying it with the same objectivity. And it's like, no, just like I can look at these teams I despise, like the Cowboys, and rank them 11th in my power rankings.
Listening on Spotify, I'm so sorry you cannot see the face right now.
It is so hot right now.
So disgusted.
I'm sorry. I'm so offended.
Moving on. So red right now.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, I hate you for this. Minnesota and Arizona. Let's move the fuck on. Minnesota versus Arizona. Who you got? Minnesota on the road, going down to Glendale.
Another interesting game because I think Minnesota is slightly better than they showed last week. Mm-hmm. It's just slightly better because that was that might have been the game of the week. Mm-hmm. That was just a well-played game by both teams. Came down to overtime. I think it's actually history made on that game. I think they said it was the first game to something weird, like the first game to be tied 0-0 at the end of the fourth quarter, and then the first game ever to have the final point scored at 0-0 in overtime.
I don't know.
The clock was completely used. Yeah, it was like some weird thing that they showed. I don't remember. So, but but I think Minnesota's. I don't think that the Cardinals are as good as they played last week.
Okay.
I think that was just Tennessee's defense is not. They didn't revamp it. They thought they revamped it.
Yeah.
They got some work to do. So I think the Cardinals win the game. But I think the Vikings put a better showing than the Titans did, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. They're not going to get ran out of the building. Let me say Arizona pulls it out 31-28. I think Justin Jefferson comes out and you actually see him play football. I don't remember seeing him that much last week. He's going to come out. Let me say Justin Jefferson goes 6 for 120. In one gritty celebration. You know what I mean? But I think Kyler Murray pulls it out of the end.
We're exactly on the same page. I have the exact same score line. I think it'll be 31-28 Arizona. Exact same reasons. I don't think that the Vikings are as bad as they looked last week. Because I don't think that they looked bad. I think that they could be better.
They could, yeah.
And I don't think that Arizona's as good as they looked. I think that they kind of played above what they're capable of doing consistently. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that it's an overstatement. I don't think it's a huge thing, but it's we talk about the 100%.
Right.
110%. And it's they were at 105%.
Yeah. They were going easy on Madden.
Yeah. When they get back to reality, I still think that they're a better team than Minnesota. I still think that they get the win. But I think it'll be the exact same scoreline. 31-28 is what I had. On my
end. It would not surprise me if the Vikings did that. I would not be mad to be wrong in this game.
Yeah, it's a toss up for me. I have a couple on here that one. I think my the one tonight, the Washington football team. I have a few toss ups, but and one that I don't think will be a toss up at all. But it's my game of the week.
Oh, you got 2 games of the week.
No. I said the first one was a silly one. No, I said the first one was the game of the week for me. That's Denver. Okay. Denver's always going to obviously be my game of the week. My personal one. I even said that. I'm like, my personal game of the week is always going to be Denver. Because I don't give a fuck anybody else when it comes to my game of the week. That's the game I only care about. Okay. Well, when it comes to professionalism, my game of the week, not even because I think it'll be the most interesting game. I don't think it'll even be a close game. I think it's going to be an ass whipping. I just think it's going to be fucking funny.
Okay. Who are the Chiefs playing?
It's it's even better than that. It's the semi-reunion of the Atlanta Falcons having to play Tom Brady again. First time since the Super Bowl. And Tom Brady
last year 2 times.
Trolled these. I'm not saying like that. Okay, maybe not the first time. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Tom Brady trolled these motherfuckers on Instagram before the game, like literally a couple of days ago. Intentionally, like had the camera set up to where you could see his computer monitor that he had the time set at 3:28. The whole time he was talking about the game, just as a reminder of that 28-3 comeback. So I want to watch the game just because Tom Brady's a fucking GOAT. And he's even the GOAT at trolling people. Like this dude's in Subway commercials selling bread and he doesn't eat bread. Like, come on, people. Talk about the GOAT where it's like it's I'm looking forward to that game because I really hope that they trash him. I think it'll be like 38-7.
Okay.
Tom Brady might get cute and make it 28-3. I don't know.
All right. Upset alert. Falcons win. Falcons.
Okay. I like that. Why?
I told you, I did not like the way the Buccaneers defense looked. Mm-hmm. Division games can be tricky.
Yeah.
I like Kyle Pitts. I like
Ridley.
I
know you're real high on that guy.
Like, if there's a time for him to show out, it's looking over at that other sideline. Not screw Tom Brady. Gronk is on the other sideline. That's your position. I think he's going to put on a show, man. He's going to have one of those rookie come-out games. Matt Ryan has a flashback. Falcons beat the Buccaneers 35-31.
All right. I'm very curious to know what's in your cup because you sound drunk saying something like that. But again, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think it'll even be a contest.
Again, division games can be tricky. Atlanta has the pieces on offense. Defensively, they don't have all the people, but they have the offensive capability to put points on the board.
And so I want to move on to the next game because I actually have a curious question as a preface before we get into the matchup. I'm only going to talk about one person on one of the teams. Do you think Ezekiel Elliott got complacent after he signed his massive contract 2 years ago?
That's a very good question. And looking at his performance since he got paid,
it's bad.
Exactly. And what makes it look worse is, remember, he held out. Mm-hmm. Like, he wasn't even really due for a contract extension. They could have just been like, F you. Yeah. You're in the contract and let's roll. But they caved and gave him his money. And then he's looked average since. So one could say that, but I'm going to give him the benefit of that. I'm going to say no, because one, he comes back, he has the down year. We'll give him that one. Then you come back the next year and your quarterback goes down, which basically makes you the focus of every defense you face. And now, what happened in game 1? You and I were both talking about this. You get that dude 11 carries in a close game. Like, I actually need to see them try to make Zeke a focal point before I can really say he did that. Right now, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But you could say that, and it'd be very difficult to argue against it.
Okay. Good. I want to
give him the benefit of the doubt.
So this is the only time, because I hate when people do this. I hate devil's advocate shit. But you also are the sports almanac. So I'm going to put you on the fucking spot. It's like Jeopardy. I'm putting you on the spot. Who was Barry Sanders' quarterback?
Which one?
That's kind of my point. Is Barry Sanders is widely regarded, even amongst us, as one of the hands down best running backs of all time.
Yeah, I think he's number 2 all time. But that's...
And yet, to your point, every single team playing the Detroit Lions knew they only had to worry about 20. And he was still number 2 all time.
But your first mistake, you're putting Ezekiel. He's not in that conversation.
I'm not. I wasn't saying that he was.
You are by even because I know the comparison you're making, and
because I think that.
But he's not that.
Maybe I'm putting him in there because I think that he could be. I think that he should be. I think that he needs to be. I think that there's no reason when I watch Zeke run.
No, he's not in the conversation.
I'm sorry. When I watched Zeke run his first 2 years before that contract extension, I swear to God, I was so mad. I've never been mad at a player in my life, but I was mad because he wasn't on my team. I was mad because I'm like, this dude is a man amongst men. Like, and I'm saying that intentionally, not a man amongst boys. He's a man amongst men. Like, this dude just got in the league and is beasting people.
Yeah, Zeke showed out.
And then, I don't know, he got into like piercing his nose and wearing half-ass jerseys and
doing
weird shit.
In college.
He's just doing weird shit, and then he gets a contract extension, and it's like, and then over the last 2 years, your production dropped by 30 yards a game.
Yeah.
You've had 9 less touchdowns in an equivalent number of games. Like, it just looks like you're not trying. Yeah, it can be the game plan. We're only giving him 11 carries a game, but why? Because you're not producing. Again, like I say, people talk about our running game. If you lose Dak, then all the more reason. Like, if you lose Dak and you have Zeke, why is he not getting 30 carries a game?
Saying, people talk about the Browns' running game and how the running game gets credit for everything. But that's because we have a coach that gives the ball to the freaking running backs. Like, if that part's not right, and again, last year, I can forgive it because you're down, 21-3 to the Falcons real quick. You were down 30 points to the Browns. You were down 20-something points to the Seahawks. Okay, I can see you not running the ball. Dude, last week, that game was within 9 points the entire game. Yeah. Feed your running back. Let him go on it. Like any given Sunday. You paying these linemen all these money, let them block.
So you want to give Zeke a little bit more time before
that's like getting benefit of the doubt because of the situation.
So at what point, let's put you to task, because I'm saying I think he checked out.
Yeah, I think you give him this entire season. You want to give
him the whole season?
You have to.
I'm gonna give him till week 10. I'm gonna give him till week 10 because that's after one of their bye weeks. So I'm gonna give him 9 games. If I don't see something from Zeke that resembles the dude that earned that contract, I think he checked out. I think he just got lazy. And so after that, we got to talk about we was getting into Dallas and they going up against the LA Chargers in LA at SoFi Stadium. Gorgeous stadium. We got to finally see it as it's supposed to be seen with fans and with all the lights and tricks, and Dallas got to go in there, and I know that Jerry Jones got something to say about how his package feels, given that, all the effort he put in there.
Jerry's World is not the number one stadium in the league anymore.
He got to go in somewhere that shits all over what he did. So who do you think wins that game?
How about them Cowboys?
You think it's going to be the Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
After everything we just went through with Zeke, you going to be the Cowboys?
Win. Yeah. I think Mike McCarthy has heard a lot of stuff this week. Dak didn't play bad in that game either. But then, like we said in the power rankings, like I'm not a huge believer in the Chargers. A lot of people are high on the Chargers. I'm not. I think them and the Cowboys are on the same level. So it's two teams on the same level. It could go either way. I'm gonna go with the combo of Zeke and Dak over Herbert and Eckler.
Okay. I gotta disagree with you.
I see it.
And again, this is what I'm saying. I'm an objective fan. I'm objective on this pod. I'm not an objective fan. I'm objective on this podcast. I'm objective, and people that know me, as a super quick disclaimer, I am only diehard about literally one team in all of sports. But I am a absolute, as you'll give me credit for, I'm a sports fanatic. I can talk to you about any sport all day. Name me their players. You know this. I love sports. I only have one team, though.
Badminton?
Yeah, I can get into it. I was watching I can't pronounce the names of the Chinese duo that won the badminton gold medals. I wish I could, but it's on the symbols. I'm not saying that I just don't know what it says. I don't know how to say their names. But yes, I do watch the shit. I love sports. I only have one team. It's the Denver Broncos. So when I have to keep talking about teams that are rivals to ours in positive lights, it makes me sick. And I'm having to disagree with you because I think that the Chargers win the game.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game. I have it at 28-24. I think that Zeke has a better game. I think that he rushes for at least 70 yards, but I don't think he hits the 100-yard plateau, and I think that that's what will be necessary for them to win the game. Mm-hmm. With that defense that the Chargers have, again, I told you, the defense is going to do what it does, and they're healthy right now.
Right.
My question was the offense. That offense went up against Washington, managed to eke out a win, however they did it, whatever luck that they got, but they won the game. Justin Herbert played well. I think that the Chargers, especially at home, will be able to keep them in check just enough to win a game. So I have a marginal win for the Chargers.
Okay. Next.
Let's get into another good one. And this game I feel like is going to have huge implications in the AFC because it's about to put a team that a lot of people had picked, myself included, yourself included, as the clear-cut winners of their division, making it into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And they're about to go down 0-2 to start their season. And it's the Tennessee Titans going into Seattle.
Yeah.
What's your take?
Let Russ cook.
Let Russ cook.
Let Russ cook. I mean, obviously that's a hard place to play. You know how the Seahawks are the first 10 weeks of the season every year.
Home or away, but especially at home.
They got the T9000.
Mm-hmm. And they played well last week. I don't think they played up to their potential, but they played well.
They played a good game. Tennessee traveling way out there to the Pacific Northwest. Good luck with that. I think it's another disappointing. I don't think they get blown out like they did against Arizona. But I don't think the game looks competitive. It'll just be like you watch that game and be like, yeah, Seattle won. Mm-hmm. They'll just control the game from beginning to end. So I'm going to Seahawks. I'll say they win 31-21.
I swear to God, at times I feel like this dude is like reading my notes. Because I have Seattle winning 31-24. But not for the exact same reasons. And that's why I'm saying I feel like it's going to be a huge implication game in the AFC. Is that a team that a lot of people had very high on their list, being the Tennessee Titans, especially after getting Julio Jones. Yeah. I don't feel like they could have afforded their loss last week. They should not have lost that game. Because now, again, going in and playing in Seattle, now you're starting out 0-2. Yeah.
But still, you're competing with really only the Colts.
Yeah.
Because Houston
and Jacksonville are not going to make it.
Right.
And the Colts will likely be down 0-2. So, yeah, I mean, but again, I have Seattle winning that game. They're at home. They got the 12th man back.
I have a bolder prediction for this game.
Go ahead.
Jamal Adams is going to lay the wood to Derrick Henry.
Not going to happen.
The hitman is going to lay the wood to Derrick Henry. At least one time.
I'll bet you a shot. I'll bet
Derrick Henry gets a stiff arm off.
That Derrick Henry gets a more solid stiff arm off before Jamal Adams gets a. That's a bet right there. We already know what we're saying. For people at home and people listening in, I don't need to finish the sentence. That's best friend talk. We know where we at. We know how the bet's going.
Jamal Adams gonna clean that dude up once.
All right, so we have one.
Wait. Are we going by what happened in first? Because what if they both get off? Is it the first thing that happened?
It'll be whatever's better. Whatever's more effective.
A hard hit is it?
Okay, so it'll be like
whatever happens first.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to go with it because then everything else will be judgment calls. So yeah, we'll go whatever happens first.
All right.
Yeah, because other than that, it's like we don't have to be making like subjective judgment calls. All right, so we have 2 games left. I mean, realistically, we have 1 game left to talk about, and that's the Sunday Night Football game. That should be a barn burner that one of the quarterbacks has tried to play down. He's like, nah. This ain't just about me and Mahomes.
Yeah,
it's a whole game. Do you think Lamar Jackson is scared? Because the game we talking about, people, is Kansas City versus Baltimore Sunday Night Football.
No, I think Lamar Jackson is smart.
How so?
Because what he's really saying is, I don't have any help.
Oh, that's clever.
That's what he's really saying. You can say it's me against Mahomes, but no, it's, bro, I don't have any running backs. My starting receivers are gone. I'm going to have to put up 600 yards of total offense by myself to stay in this game.
For this to even be worth watching.
Right. And, bro, you got Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, Mahomes. I don't know if they said Honey Badger's playing yet or not. I know he didn't play last week. He's still in the COVID protocol.
He's right now as recent as I was checking the injury reports, which was today before his broadcast, he was still listed as questionable. Right,
that's the only saving. Like, they need him not to play, even though if he does, he definitely won't be at 100%. He's looking at some of the guys who did come down with COVID, and like once they came, like Myles Garrett was not the same when he came back. Cam Newton last year was not the same. A lot of guys weren't like the same.
Yeah, because you can't breathe.
Right, so. That may be the best case scenario for Lamar, because he's the only player on the field who can actually kind of contain him a little bit by his style of play. But Lamar doesn't have any help. Not for the amount of points they're gonna put up to win this game. Like, so by default, I have to go with the Chiefs.
You got a scoreline for us? A rough guess.
I'm gonna say 38-21. I think Lamar gets 21.
Okay. I had it at 35-17.
Okay.
So, again, in the ball, it's again in the same reasons. That's what I hate about it. It's like the same reasons. Yeah. I can't look at, and honestly, I'd have picked Kansas City even with a full, healthy Ravens roster. I'd have still picked Kansas City.
It would have been a better game.
It would have definitely been a better game.
This is gonna.
Yeah, a full KC roster versus even without J.K. Dobbins. If Baltimore had everybody else, I know they just promoted Devontae Freeman, but it's like if you even had everybody else but J.K. Dobbins, I would be like, oh, Kansas City wins this game going away. With J.K. Dobbins, I'm like, Kansas City wins the game, but it's close. Yeah. Without J.K. Dobbins, without number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. These motherfuckers are going to Costco to try to find a running back. Yeah.
and your number 1 and your number 2 receiver. So
yeah, I'm like, you have no chance against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Even without Honey Badger, without Tyrann Mathieu. Like, you have no chance against them. Because even if their defense decided to literally take a bunch of like oxys and pass out on the sideline, you not keeping up with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Lamar's gonna make like 5 or 6 just ridiculous plays. Yeah, but it's just not gonna be enough.
And then to the most useless matchup, and I say this because it's offensive. It's offensive that the NFL decided to make this Monday Night Football, because I don't know what rosters they were ever looking at that they were like, yeah. You know what people want to see on Monday Night Football? It's the fucking Lions playing the Packers. Yeah. No. Nobody ever asked for that. No one in Detroit, no one in Green Bay, and no one else in America. Not even in Canada or Mexico.
It's a bye week, man.
Nobody asked for Monday Night Football to be wasted on the Detroit Lions. Playing it. What's your take? Let's move on from this, please, as quickly as possible.
Green Bay redeems themselves from last week's loss. They win going away. I would say probably 42-20.
That's so generous of you. I think it's going to be like 17-10 Green Bay. I still think that Aaron Rodgers is phoning it in. But I feel like even with him not giving a shit and him looking like a 75-year-old man, even though he's only like a few years older than me, which makes me feel some kind of way, I feel like he's going to accidentally win. Like, he's just too good, and they're going to win by default because the Lions are too bad. But I don't think it's going to be a good game. I hope and pray it's a blowout. I want your result. I want it to be like 42-10. Because I want to believe, as you believe, in Aaron Rodgers not just fucking throwing this whole season away.
He's not.
Because I look at him, and I look at even how he's, like, his whole face. That's why I sent you the meme today of him versus Tom Brady. It's like, got caught off guard. He doesn't give a shit. Aaron Rodgers is not playing for this season. Like, he knows that it doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers could. There was another next gen stat. Mm-hmm. If you're a starting quarterback and every single play you just throw the ball into the ground, you'd finish with a QBR of 39.2. Mm-mm. Aaron Rodgers played an actual game, not just throwing the ball straight into the ground, and finished with a QBR of 32.7. He doesn't fucking care. This dude is not trying to play. That's where I'm like, I think that the Packers win by accident. It's two bad teams in a game that shouldn't be on Monday Night Football. It's an embarrassment to the game. I mean, obviously you think it's going to be a bit closer game. Do you have anything that you could try to say?
You think it's going to be a closer game?
No, blowout. You think it's going to be a blowout? Is there any way that you can convince me that it'll be a blowout instead of the close game that I think it's going to be? Because I think it's two garbage teams.
Yeah, and just historically, the Lions don't perform in Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers, the average for his career, 3 touchdowns against the Lions. And he's coming off a loss to a team that didn't have Drew Brees. He's about to show Jared Goff how to play football.
So you think it'll be like a bit of muscle memory mixed with like...
It's going to be a lesson. It's going to be a master class with Jared Goff on how to play football in the NFC North.
I really, really hope that you're right. We both have them winning the game. I just hope that you're right that they win by a lot. Because I like, you know me, I like seeing in any game, and it's why I'm such a sports fan. Like, why I like all different sports. I like seeing excellence, like, personified. I don't care what sport it's in. Like, why I love watching Roger Federer. Like, that's how tennis is supposed to be played. Like, yeah, Djokovic, whatever, is the GOAT. Like, he's going to be the greatest ever. But it's like, Federer is poetry in motion. I love watching Aaron Rodgers play when he feels like playing. I hope that, he plays this Sunday. And if he does...
Well, he ain't playing Sunday. He'll be golf on Sunday. He plays
Monday. Because, again, I can't believe that it's a fucking Monday night game. It's still offensive that it would be a Lions team ever since... The Lions should not ever be on Monday Night Football after Megatron retired. That's just, like, they haven't had a team that should ever deserve that prestige. But since they do, and that's our final take, people can calculate it at the end of the week. We definitely will. We'll let everybody know how our picks go when we talk to y'all on Tuesday. I think it's going to be a hell of a week in football, as do you. I think it's going to be a great season.
Yeah, I mean, some good matchup this weekend. Looking for the Browns to get on the board for the first time this season. And there's a couple of matchups that I specifically want to check out. So
yeah, I think that y'all should definitely tune into as many of the games as you can, because this week has some interesting matchups. Ones that could definitely go. It seems very lopsided as far as it seems like one of those predictable weeks. Mm. And those are the weeks that I feel like you definitely have to watch. Anytime that you can look through and be like, yeah, these are all sure wins, is like week 1. That's when we're going to have a lot of upsets. That's when you're going to have a lot of the games that go ways you weren't expecting, because those teams that, usually are expected to win, they kind of get that shit in their head too. And so these weeks are ones that you should tune into. I feel like, obviously, we're football fanatics. You should tune in every week.
But
go ahead.
It's about that time.
More so than tuning into the NFL every week. You need to tune into us every episode. Okay, we dropping every Tuesday and every Friday.
True that.
So, I mean, if you're addicted to the NFL, you're addicted to sports, you need to tune into us. We here more often, and we love y'all more. We here for y'all. We doing everything we can. Anyway,
I'll be there for you.
We'll sing to you. We'll do everything we can. Anyway, thank y'all again. This is episode number 7. This is my favorite one. Not because of the content, because I have an affinity for the number 7. So this is always going to hold a special place in my heart. I love this episode. I love y'all for allowing us to get to this point. It's only because y'all keep tuning in that we get here. So keep doing it. Keep hitting that like, subscribe button. Please let us know what you think. And my name is Shaka. This is my man Bobby G. This has been another episode of the Next Man Up Sports Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. It's time to get them out of here.
Peace.